Okay, let's try this. Hi, this is Luise Heinzl, and I have a problem. I really have a problem. I mean, normally, and if you know me, you know that, normally I can remember ideas pretty well. I normally do something, and then if you ask me 3 years later, I still know how I did it. I can see a journal which I have made 4 years ago, and you can ask me, how did you do that? How did you do the cover? And I can remember everything. But today, it's different. It's really different. I wanted to show you an idea for page tabs combined with some tickets, combined with a technique which I have called for myself masking with embossing glaze. That is 3 different things in one project. I think those 3 things fit really, really well together. And then I wanted to start. You can see I have everything I need here. I have my new punches here. I bought some page tab punches thanks to Tony at Crafty by Tony. She has recommended these in one of her videos, or perhaps in more of one, but I saw these in her video and then I bought these for myself. I'm so happy. Thank you, Tony, if you see this. And there's another thing with Tony, because I wanted to show her something where I thought that she hasn't done that before. Tony is the queen of page tabs. If you don't know her, check out her channel. I will link it again down below this video. She's absolutely fantastic with page tabs and of course other things, but I really am a fan of, especially of her page tabs. And then I found this out and I thought, she hasn't done that. I want to show that to her because she's a really big role model for me as well. And then I was sitting here and I thought, how the heck did I do that? And then another thing came to my mind, and I will try it again now because I think I found the, I'm close to the solution. You can see I have already tried some things out here to find out how I did it. And then I thought perhaps I should do something I have done for several weeks now, which has massively inspired my Tattered Bunny Collage book, which is laying over there, and which I'm working on at the moment. And I want to try something today, which I have never done before while recording a video. And that is listening to some music. I have my headphones here so that, you don't hear the music. I mean, I would love if you could hear the music, but I can't do that because of copyright problems, So I need to put these little beans here into my ears and then I can listen to it. Perhaps you want to listen to music as well while you are crafting along with me, with me. That is German. With me here today. But obviously I can't play the music in the video, but I want to tell you which music it is and which singer it is I have listened to, because that voice has massively inspired my journal. I have listened to that channel while I was working on the journal and not filming, and I felt how much that impacted my results in this journal. So I thought, why don't I try that and listen to that music while I'm making a video, because then perhaps it has an impact as well. I don't know. So I think that this journal is really, really different to other journals I made in the past. If you have seen my paper premiere about this journal, then you have already heard this phenomenon in more detailed, in a more detailed version. If you have missed that, the link is down below in the description box. There's a playlist link which is called Playlist Tattered Bunny Collage Book, and there you can find all of the videos about this journal and also, as I said, the paper premiere video. Perhaps you want to re-watch that if you have missed that live chat there, or the live premiere, so that you can hear that a little bit more in detail. And why am I telling you that? When you say that something has impacted your junk journaling process, then it's obviously a very personal thing. But I would love if some of you would be out there who can also experience something like that, what I have experienced. And I know that it can be different for each and everyone out there. Some are like, distracted by music when they craft. That can also be something that you can find out for yourself. Others say, okay, I need this or that style of music to be creative. But I would like to introduce you to the music I have listened to. And if you want, you can go to YouTube and check this man out. His name is Daniel Evans. And for me, he is the most incredible voice in this world. If you don't know him, please, please, please do yourself a favor and check him out. Unfortunately, I can't play anything here now, obviously because of the copyright reasons, but here is the channel name. I will also link him down below in the description box. And I want to try this now. Now I think if this shall work, then I can only take one of my beans here. Otherwise, I can't hear myself talking anymore. And hopefully you will not hear me singing while I do this here. So I will listen to one of his last live streams. He's also on Instagram and on TikTok, and he's doing live streams regularly on Instagram and TikTok simultaneously. But here on YouTube, here are also some older live streams he did. So what is a good length? Well, let's take the last one here, the first one here. That is really weird. Now I can hear it, but you can't hear it. But please check him out. Please check him out. Okay, so I need to do this really a little bit, not so loud. Otherwise, I have the feeling that I can't hear myself anymore. But let's try that. Let's try that. I want to see if this has now, when I need to concentrate to these things here, way more intense. I'm recording this video here for you. So I want to see if this has an impact, even if I'm doing my regular work here and have to concentrate on other things than on the music. Do you know what I mean? So let's try that. And check him out, okay? And by the way, if you have seen his name in the chat during the premiere, and if you now think, hey, I have read this name before, then you are not crazy. You are right. He was there and said hello in the chat. And that was, for me, a really, 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 really wonderful thing that he did that. And I appreciate that really, really much. So what have we done here? We have taken a strip of paper. This is just some leftover ideology paper I had, and I have just folded that in half. The measurements of this are medium important, because obviously you want to have something which is a little bit more than this is. Yeah, so if you have such a punch, then take something where when you fold that in half, it's a little bit more. Is this perhaps already too slim? Perhaps. Let's take this one. So when you fold this in half and you put that in here, then you can see that there's, you can see that here on the left and the right, that there's a little bit space above where it's cutting here. Does that make sense? So I will just punch in here so that you can see it. Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry. So that you have this little space here. You can do this way bigger. That would also be possible. But this is already enough. So then, what have I done then? I have taken this and I have punched in here again, I think, like so, with a little distance. And now I think this distance here you can determine by yourself, and that of course also determines the size of the page tab. That means I got this normal one here, which is, you know, which you are supposed to get when you punch with this punch. I mean, probably I should say that as well. This is obviously what you get with this punch, yeah, and how the punch is meant to use. But when you take this and when you then look at the shape which is left over, and that is what I have done, and punch in here as well, you can get a new page tab with this here. And now you have two different possibilities. The first possibility would be to just cut it off here like so. I will not do it because then it's a little bit boring, but you could do that, and then you would have another shaped page tab from this one punch. Do you know what I mean? You can then make several shapes with one and the same punch. I will not cut this off here now, but you could cut it off. So if you have such a punch, then you could make this shape and another shape by just cutting it off here. And then you would have another page tab. But perhaps you have this punch as well, or a similar punch like this. Then take that, cut this off here. So this is, you know, just some leftover. We don't throw this away. You can use that for your scrap box. But this needs to be shorter so that what I want to do is possible here now, because I want to put this in here now like so. And then you can see when I put it too far in there, you can see these little slots on the left and the right. And now I want, wait, how can I, holy moly, how can I show that to you so that you can see it and that I know what I'm doing? So I want to punch like so, but how to know where to punch? When you look in here, can you see that there is here this little slot, and there is this little slot in the paper, I mean, and you can see it here in the punch. And when you now move this so that the I'm so sorry, that this little corner here and this little corner is showing this tiniest bit of this little slot. And when you then punch, you get this shape. Wait. I line it up there so that I only can see the tiniest little bit of this little slot. Can you see that there? This little, it's like a quarter of a circle or so. And that makes that this gets straight and in the correct position. And then next to this confetti, you get this cool tab. Tony, are you impressed? Hopefully she hasn't done that before. I mean, then I would feel really embarrassed, but I'm pretty sure that she hasn't done this before, and hopefully some of you might like this as well. From that kind of punching technique, you can also get these. These are now single layers, yeah, but you could, I'm sure you could turn these into something cool as well. What I thought was we could take them like so. Then we would have a half mini page tab. I mean, yeah, you could still take this, even if it's so tiny, and put that on something like so. Or take the second one and fold that in half as well. Take both of these and just glue them together. Holy cow. I'm sorry. To something like so. Then you have a full page tab as well. And this is another shape you can get from both of these punches. What if we take this idea and do that a bit more extremely? Because I got another one which looks like this and which is obviously bigger than the other one. And it has also a little bit different shape. So for this, we need a bigger paper. Let's see. Okay. So we fold that in half. We punch here. And now let's make this part, which will then become our new page tab, a little longer than we did that with the other one. Just like so. Now again, you could take your scissors and just cut along here so that you then have a long page tab made with this punch here. And if you don't want that, again, cut this off to be able to take this thing again, put it in here. And now I have to admit, it's a little bit more tricky to find the position to punch. If you cut this off even further, then it's, I think, easier to handle. And to be honest, I still have problems to figure out how I have to hold this in my hands so that it can work. But what you now can do is, I mean, this is a little bit of eyeballing now. If there's a way to measure this, let me know. Ooh, I found the way. I just found the way. Oh my goodness. We take this, we open it, we, not much, but just a little bit, fold it by lining it up here to find the middle here. We could also measure that, yeah, so that we can see where the middle is here. I mean, we could also fold it perhaps like so. That would also be a possibility. Then we can see the middle here with the fold. And when we then take this piece and put that in here, this tip of this thing must be the middle. So that means when I now try to eyeball that, I try to get this tip and this thing lined up so that this is one line like so. And then I need to find out this position here. And for that, I found that when you line this here, where the round thing ends, up with the punch, with this edge, then it's, I think, working really, really well. And then let's punch in here. Then this looks, at first glance, really weird. I find this looks like a little alien from a really old computer game or so. But, you know, this looks like little pixels or so. But when we now take our scissors and just make this round and this as well, we have another tab and a new shape from those two punches. I find this really fascinating. If these little things here bother you, just take your scissors and cut them off. I don't know yet what I shall think about these things, if I like this better or the other one, because I mean, I think I like this version better because, let me show you that here. Here you can compare it. When you have this here, it looks somehow like there is something which doesn't belong there, which was missed to cut off or so. So that is why I like this version better without these little things, but please decide that for yourself. And what I also just see is, I mean, I love this. This is really great. So when we have that, we can also think about playing around with these shapes even further. What I also did was I have taken such a paper and then I have taken this punch here And how did I do that? Yeah, I know it. So here, we talked about lining things up. So what I do here is I take this edge and try to line that up with the paper here and here. Because I want to punch in here 2 times. Just like this. Then I leave a little space here, more than I would normally leave if I would try to get the most out of this paper. I punch in here again, trying to line this up very straight. Okay, it's not perfect, but you know, I think I can live with this, so that we now have this cool shape here. Because when we then take our scissors and just cut this off, and cut this little piece off, decide which pattern we like better, and then fold this in half, either like so. We have a little tab. We can also decide if we want to cut these little noses here off. I would probably do that if I would use it like so. Or what you also could do is you could take it and fold it in the other direction. This is a little bit, it's not 100% correct, but who cares? Because even if I can see that this is not 100% lined up now, who cares? Because later on, when I put that to a page, it will go on there like so, and no one will see that it is not lined up because one of these things is on one page and the other thing is on the other page. Who cares? Okay. When we have prepared multiple of these, we can put them aside for a while and go on with the second idea. And that's, I mean, we will need these later, yeah? Don't throw them out of the window, please. So the next, yeah, let's call it component of my page tabs shall be some tickets. I have some of my ephemera pages here printed out from the Tattered Bunny Collage Book ephemera pack. You can find all the links down below in the description box. The ephemera pack as well as the pages, and in the description box you can also find some other papers I've used for making the Tattered Bunny Collage Book journal. That's my Worn Easter Ledger collection, and you can also find the Antique Bunnies journaling cards there, which I have printed here because I thought I want to put some of my page tabs on these cards. I think that could look really, really cute later. But before we can do that, let's make some tickets. If you don't have a printer, if you don't like printables, please don't run away. You can use other things, obviously, as well. You can use leftover paper scraps. I mean, this is also from my printable, yeah, because that's what I have on my table here. But this could, you can imagine that this could be like another paper as well, scrapbooking paper, ideology paper, or whatever you like. You could even do this with some magazine cutouts or so, or perhaps images from books or so. That would also work. On the printable, we have several things to choose. You can use basically whatever you like. It doesn't have to be something which is originally meant to use as a ticket. But if you want to do that, then you have tickets here, where you can do this little technique. I will show you in a second. You could also turn these into tickets. I will show you how in a second. And what I also want to do is I want to take these Polaroid photos and turn them into tickets, because this little portion here screams to become a ticket or part of a ticket. And what I also want to use are these things here and perhaps some of these. So and I also have some leftovers from the printable here. For example, these belly bands. You could also use these. Yeah, for example, let's say you are working on the journal, you have printed this, and you have already used these pieces. You have perhaps already used the Polaroids, you have already used the tickets. Yeah, then take what's left over. You can make tickets from basically everything you have laying around, even something like this. So let's first do that. So obviously, if you want to use these tickets here, you can just cut them out, because they are already tickets. I really have problems to cut this out because my body wants to move, because, you know, I have still this music in my ears, or at least in one of my ears, and I really have problems to cut this out correctly, but, well, who cares? It's my journal. This is really a cool experience, and I have the feeling that I'm somehow different than on other days where I don't listen to music while I'm doing this here. I mean, recording. But we will see how this can have an impact, or if it can have an impact to the end result. So, if you want to use the tickets from the printable, then, you know, just cut them out and then you have them. If you want to turn these into tickets, I just cut this first into a rectangle, because why not? Obviously, because a ticket is rectangular in the most cases. I mean, you can do other shapes obviously as well. And then I just cut this little round piece off. When we have this, we can of course take, for example, such a punch which punches these, like, you know, quarter holes, or something like this. So let's do that here. Let's decide which size. This one here can punch 3 different sizes, and I think that looks pretty good. When I see this, I can see that I want something else here. Let's take this and let's fold it like so. And now I want a hole here. Can I? What happens if I take this? That would work, wouldn't it? Shall we take the small one as well for that? I guess. Then if we do it like so while it's folded, oh yes, and we fold it open again, then we have something like this, which we know from this shape. Can you see? And I think that looks really interesting, especially with this fold here. It already looks a little bit more used or so. I really like that. And we could also think about perhaps punching a half hole there. But for that I need another punch. I couldn't decide for only one, so I have taken them all out. And what is that? Please take out what you have and use the punches you have. I'm sure you can make interesting ticket shapes by just taking those punches you already have. You don't need to buy a punch for something like this, because you can, you know, vary with the things you already have. Here I think I've just changed my mind. I want to have it like so that there's really a hole, you know, a full hole in here. But obviously you could also take this and make a half hole, but I think that looks better on such a smaller size. Like so. And what I also found is this thing here. This was also recommended by Tony. This normally makes a square, as you can see, but if we take this, wait, I don't want to have all of these things on one and the same ticket here. I will quickly cut these exactly like this is here, so that we then can try the other punches as well, okay? So then let's talk about this thing. So this normally punches a square, but if you take this, and where would this make sense now? Perhaps here. And turn that around, it has this little thing here so that the squares can't fall out, but we need to take this out so that we can see through it. And now I put this in here, but only half, so that I get this half square cut out from here, and I think that is really cute. When this is inked up, it's probably more visible. I think I have the feeling you can't see anything. Look. What I then also found is this thing. I'm totally amazed by this, because this, how is this meant to use? I think like so. Yeah. This makes little mushroom shaped holes. But what I'm trying to demonstrate here is, please use whatever you have. Even if you don't have, for example, such a punch like this, or you don't have a punch like this, which you could also use to, you know, punch in here, and then you would have these round edges there. If you call this your ticket, everything is totally okay. Yeah, it doesn't need to look like yeah, a traditional ticket or so. Do you know what I mean? Who cares? It's your journal. I mean, you should care about it, and you should think that is my ticket and I'm proud of it. No. Then I also have this here, which makes such a thing also great for adding a ribbon later. So I will then, oh, I missed one. This one here, I also found on Amazon. And it makes these cool things. I find this really interesting as well. Oh, he's just singing one of my absolute favorite songs, which is Jessie by Joshua Caddison. And I really love Joshua Caddison, but Daniel's version is, it's just, how do you say that then? Then it's not mind-blowing. Is it then ear-blowing? I guess that's not an English word, but for me it's ear-blowing. Okay. Concentration, Luise, concentration. Can we perhaps try 2 folds here? Is that also possible? And I'm assuming it's already happening here. I'm just realizing that the music in my ear is really, really silent. I can, to be honest, barely hear it. Barely. I hope that is a word. It's really silent, but I can hear it. But it already does something with me. Because this, I mean, I have never done this before. And for me, there's no other explanation than that the music is doing that with me right now. Because why is this here? I mean, yeah, I have come to other nice ideas during videos already as well in the past. Yes. But I think with this thing, it's just something different. Okay, let's perhaps mic. Shall we? And perhaps you also want to share if you listen to music while crafting, and if that has an impact to you as well, or to your results, or to what you're thinking and feeling during crafting. That would be really, really interesting to know how that is for you. I mean, if that is not too private for you to share, of course. So then when we have these, and we have played around with all of our punches, we can, of course, also take this here. And with this portion of the printable, you have, I think, multiple options how to cut this now. Because obviously, look, here's this image here. Obviously, you could cut it like so, yeah, under the little piece of ledger here, so that you then would have this portion as one ticket, and then this portion as one ticket, and then perhaps this here, this here as one ticket. Or you could also, of course, cut it like so, or cut it like so, so that you have two bunnies on here, or like so. Yeah, you have multiple options with that. I think I want to cut this off, use this for something else, and then I use this because I have this print here twice. And that really doesn't matter. I'm just thinking about how to cut it so that you can see multiple variations of the same idea. Oh my goodness. And now I really have problems. I mean, if you have a YouTube channel, try to record a video while listening to music. Oh my goodness. He's just singing the song faithfully. And to be honest, I really have problems to hold myself back to not sing this part with the O's loud, but just only in my head. Okay, so here we go. This here we could also fold here, obviously, and then cut in here. Like so. And then we have this half hole exactly here where this line already is, and where this little second portion of the ticket already is, compared to the others here where we made this little portion by ourselves. But you know, that really doesn't matter. You can later on decorate this with a different pattern or so. So if you want, of course, so that it then also looks different, like this portion looks different to this. Do you know what I mean? Because here it's just the same pattern. So then let's talk about the Polaroids and how to turn those into tickets. First of all, I want to cut them apart so that I can see each of those images separately. Then I'm going to take my paper trimmer, and first I cut this here straight so that I have one straight edge. And then I want to decide which portion of the Polaroid shall be on my ticket later. So I take this, think I will cut it here, and that's good. But that's obviously personal taste, how much you cut off from the Polaroid. And now, of course, you can decide if you want to have this little beige thing here on the top. I think that looks good because then we have it here and the same color here, but you could, of course, also decide to cut that off. I will quickly do that for the others as well and decide for a portion which I want to have. And then let's take these, and since we have decided that we like these small things here the best, I will do this here as well, like so. And then we can fold this here where this lighter portion is. To also get this little thing here. I will do that for the others as well. Oh, we could perhaps also make a variation here by not punching a round thing here, but something like this. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Daniel. That is cool. Is it? And what if... What if... Oh, no, I can't do... Oh, yes, I can. Oh, I can. Oh, first I... Oh. First I thought I can't punch in here because it's just not possible. But if I do it like so and line this thing up with the edge of this, I can punch this. What? Oh, that is cool. Look. Wait, I will put it to something white so that you can see the shape better. How cool is that? I want to do this here as well. Was that coincidence or is that possible everywhere? No, it's possible everywhere. Ha. Look. Okay. I will go on with these. When you punch it like this, this beige edge here, this little strip there, makes even more sense than without these holes. So then let's clean up this mess and let's then take out some stamps and some embossing glaze. Name the tune. Here where we made these folds, we can also do it like so that this gets a little more intense. So when we have that, we can take out some embossing glaze. I have here the color Walnut Stain and Vintage Photo, but you can basically take whatever you want and what you like and what matches your colors on the tickets. Then I have some stamps here, and where the heck is my, here, embossing ink. For the stamps, you could obviously use some tickets, yeah, because you know we are going to make tickets, so you could use ticket stamps if you have some. This is Ticket Booth CMS 337, Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz, all of the others as well, which I'm showing you now. I thought this set could work really well as well. We will see in a second if that's the truth. Faded Type CMS 397. Then I have these, which have some writing here, and these are mirrored because, you know, perhaps you know this set, it has a reason, would be too much to explain for this video, I think, but this is called Reflections CMS 111. And what I also have here is the Field Notes stamp set CMS 396. And from this set, I want to use this field label stamp, because I think this is a really good size for these. So let's perhaps start with these, because what I want to do now is I want to stamp on these, but obviously I don't want to stamp over the bunnies. Yeah, that would make no sense in my eyes. But what I want is I want to customize the background behind the bunnies with my stamping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stamp and a stamping platform, an acrylic block. You could use your stamping platform, obviously, but I think for something like this, that is not really necessary. But if you freak your freak, then take your stamping platform out. This stamp fits pretty well, size-wise, to this image. So when I hold this here, I can see the stamp covers nearly all of this up. Is that necessary? No, but I want to show you that this stamp works really well with this printable, because I know that many of you have this stamp, but I will show you other examples in a second as well. We take our embossing ink and I will put that on here. I think I will try to not get embossing ink to this outer frame here, because I already have a frame on the ticket. So then we stamp this whole thing on here. And obviously I have stamped over the bunny image now, yeah, because the embossing ink is now on the bunny as well. But we are going to do a little trick. I throw this on here, like so. Could you emboss it like this? Obviously, yes. If you like this, just, you know, take your heat tool and melt the powder. But I want to take a dry paintbrush and remove the embossing ink from the image of the bunny. And that's what I for myself call masking with embossing glaze. I don't know if that is a good expression for that, but I mean, what is it? I have no idea if that is understandable why I called it like that, but you know, now the stamping is only in the background. And what is that? If we would do that with, if we would stamp with ink and we would use some masking tape to mask the bunny, so that then the stamping gets only to the background. How is that then called? It's then masking as well, isn't it? I mean, I'm talking about this kind of masking tape, which you could use to stamp, then cut it out, mask the image, and then stamp again, and you would have the other stamping only on the background. Do you know what I mean? But this way we don't see anything on the bunny because the embossing ink is not visible there, obviously. And that's why I came to the idea to name this technique masking with embossing glaze. So now I'm melting this. And then the stamping, the embossed stamping, is in the background. And I love this mix of the glossy glaze and the matte parts of the rest of the ticket. I find that really, really interesting. And now here on this little part, we have the chance to perhaps stamp something else. This stamp is from the Field Notes set as well. And obviously we can also now stamp on here even further if we want. Put this here. I think that looks really, really, really cute. And I think we can do something really similar on here as well. That's really cool. Ah, okay. I will stamp on this with some other stamps as well with my black ink. Okay, so then let's perhaps next talk about these, because these we've cut from the Polaroids, and we said we already have something here which looks like this portion here and which really reminds to a ticket, especially because it has a different color. And I think here on this portion it makes so much sense to take like a more, you know, a bigger number like this here, or this would work as well, I think. These are again from the Field Notes set. And then perhaps some smaller details around. Here in the background there is already some like ledger. So I think the stamp we've used for the others is too detailed, slash the single details are too tiny. So let's take something else. Now I'm not so sure if this can really look good, but we will find that out together now. Let's try this stamp. This is from Faded Type. Stamp over here. Ooh, oh no. I obviously had some red ink left on this stamp because I've used it a second ago for something else. Okay, so we will live with that. Perhaps that can also give a nice effect, I don't know. And that just transferred to this, you know, with this, but we don't freak out. We take our brush. And obviously, if you don't have embossing glaze, you could do this with embossing powder as well. The difference is embossing glaze is translucent, embossing powder is opaque. But I like the glaze for this somehow a little bit better because I get more depth because of the translucency of the glaze. I'm a little bit bothered by this red here, which accidentally came there, but I think since we have red in the journal as well, it's okay. It just looks a little like a little bit of sludge, but okay. What the heck? That's obviously a sign. I have red ink on here as well. Okay. So what if we start where the important things of the bunny are, meaning the eye and perhaps this portion so that it doesn't look so straight there. This egg here. So that means now I have removed only portions of the glaze which was on the bunny and left a little bit on there, you know, so that the stamping is now in the background and in the foreground at the same time. Let's see how that looks. That is really interesting because here on the bottom you can only see the stamping when the light hits it because the print is so dark, and because of that the glaze is not so visible because it's translucent. So that it looks like so when you hold it, you know, so that no light hits it. And then when you hold it against the light, it's like so. And since we are talking about tickets, let's perhaps try the ticket booth stamp set on these here.
Has cracks pressed between the layers. A life unfolds, a tattered bunny collage book, where stories are told. Oh, listen to that tattered, fluffy bunny, a raggedy witness of time that no one took. Ephemera of love, decay, and grace. Whispers of a childhood rhyme. Pieces of my soul, soft companions through time.
You know, examples, possibilities, you know. This is not like a recipe, but, you know, going with what you get and seeing what you want to get. Holy moly. Okay, yeah, seeing what you want and deciding what you want to do. Look, now this, wait, oh my goodness, my brain, I'm sorry. Here, this was the initial idea. Here we stamped and we removed the embossing glaze completely from the bunny image so that the stamping is only in the background. Here, when I do it like so, it's similar like on one of the others, that there's some of the pattern in the background and also some here on the bird. That is similar like what we did here. Hopefully that's understandable. But what if we here remove this stuff only on this edge where the belly of the bird is. Do you know what I mean? And we leave it here so that we get this little gap in the embossed part. Now the bird is in the foreground. We have this in the background and at the same time on his belly here. Does that make sense? That is absolutely cool. Oh, look how much he is he's coming out. That looks absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's just a tiny idea, but how cool is that? Ah, okay. So what shall we do here? Let's give this a bit more black on the bottom. Oh my goodness, we could even try. Oh, we could even try to... to go further to the top. First I thought I will place the stamp here like so to get more weight to the bottom of this design, but I think if I do it like this, I press harder here than here, hoping that we get this little bit like an exactly like this. I don't know the word for that, but can you see the black comes now from here, goes up here, and it mixes with, I mean, visually with the glaze here, and we have a tiny little bit here on the belly of the bird. That is cool. And then when we have that, let's take this stamp. The embossing ink is already on here, and let's stamp here. And let's then emboss this. And I just realized that since, oh, that is pretty good. Since the archival ink was not dry, the glaze is sticking to the archival ink as well. This will come out even cooler than I originally thought, because now we will emboss the black stamping as well we did before, and that is that it will in a second blow our minds. Ah, yes, because now it's glossy and it seems to be black there where it was black before as well, and in those open spaces of the stamp we have the brown, and that's because the embossing glaze is translucent. Magic. So I will go on with this technique and do all of these as well, and you know, decide for the stamp, and if I want to do something like this here perhaps again or whatever, so that they all are stamped and embossed. And then I want to combine these little tickets with my page tabs. So here I'm back, and I have, while I did that, decided that I also want to make some of my tickets just with the black stamping instead of embossing, because I thought I show you some variations with only the stamping as well, because not everyone has embossing glaze. And I think that looks really... Ooh, what is going on here? What is going on? I'm so sorry, what is going on with this camera? I think these look really, really cute with only the stamping as well. We don't necessarily need embossing glaze. Here, for example, I just used one and the same stamp, and then I've stamped the different generations here so that I get some faded stuff here as well, and also some more intense stamping. The same here, but here I used two stamps, as you can see, this bigger one and this smaller one, but that looks nice as well, I think. Oh, here, just see, I forgot this. So then let's take our page tabs back from here. I will, these are so far away. I will ink these with Scotch Timber ink as well. And then I also want to choose some of these Antique Bunnies journaling cards. I want to mount those to some envelopes. I've just taken out some envelopes from my envelope drawer because I really like to use envelopes as, you know, the backing for such a card. Okay, so here we go. I went around these with my sewing machine and I really like how these turned out, especially those with these torn edges. I think that looks really cute. And now, oh, what is this? Now I would like to assemble these and turn these little naked page tabs into some ticket page tabs. And I also want to include some other bits and pieces like these little bit, like these little snippets we've made. I'm so sorry. And perhaps we can also use some of our labels. Off camera, I also have made some other tickets here with some red, because we have red in the printable and in the journal as well. And we also have our collage fodder flowers here. I mean, the rest is also collage fodder, isn't it? But, you know. And I also have some bits and pieces of this lace here left over, and, you know, some thread and so on. And when I do this now, I want to start with these cards because I think there it's more important how big the ticket is, which will go on here in combination with the page tabs. I think I like this size. So that means I'm going to start with the cards so that I then have a good choice from my things there. And later on the rest, which will not go on the cards but on pages in the journal, I can then just assemble and then later on look where I have a good spot in the journal to put them there. I really like this, but it's a little bit, you know, invisible. So let's take perhaps a piece of this, and I now want to layer these. So this is just a piece of embossed vellum, and when we do it like this, I think that looks already way better. Perhaps we can also take a little bit of this fabric. Nope, that's way too much. Let's take that and if I put it here, then the birds are covered up. Perhaps like so. Ooh, yes, that. Then when we do it like this, it looks like the birds are in this little nest. Look, they have a nest. Ah, it's a nest. Okay, just staple in here. And for the fabric, I'm going to use some glue if I can find it. So let's then glue this to the back. And let's then decide which of these we can put over here. I wish I had now, where is this small one? Because here I want to avoid that the birds are, you know, covered up too much. I think this would be really nice. And then we can take this, put glue to the part which goes, you know, to the back of the card. Test if that is the correct position. I think it is. And then, since this is still loose, we can perhaps take one of our This is it's already too much. I thought I want to put some of these underneath, but I think that is already too much, and that is because of those birds. Because they are just too close to the edge. But is that a problem? No, absolutely not. Oh, but we could do it like so, perhaps. No, it's too much. Let's just glue this down. And let's keep that idea with the snippets for the next page tab. I mean, we could think about, where is this half piece now? Oh yeah, that's nice. Let's just glue that on here, just like this. And then we can perhaps take one of these flowers here, perhaps a smaller one. And I will put the glue not everywhere, so that this is really dimensional then when it goes here. And then we can perhaps think about something which is peeking out here. Yeah, perhaps better like this, because I don't want to lose this white edge of the vellum there. I think that looks then a little bit weird when that, if that would be gone. Done.
Worn ledger sheets and sepia tones, postage stamps from places I've never known, rusty paper clips hold secrets tight, a letter from an Easter's night. There's lace from a dress that never fit right, and pressed violets that lost their fight. The bunny watches with it stitched up.
Done. So let's then go on with the others. I think this is now easier because we don't have something like the cards around. So let's perhaps first take these, and let's then decide which page tab shall go to which ticket. This one's to be here. So I do the same thing. I put my glue only here to the part where... No. Oh no. Luise. Well, let's make two different variations, okay? So this one here will later become, I just had, you know, a strange thing in my head. That was just a little mistake in my head. So if you want to use this as an ephemera piece later, which goes into a pocket, then you can do this trick that this stays in place, glue that to the back of the ticket. And then you have the possibility, you know, to tuck something under here. If you want to attach that to a page, then it's different. But I will show you that. I mean, perhaps you, I guess, I'm sure you already have screamed to the screen, because that's pretty obvious that we can't do it like that if we want to put that to a page later. So now you could take this and just use that as a little piece of ephemera and put that into a pocket. Yeah, that would be a possibility. If you want to use this part here as a real page tab, which is peeking out, then you would need to glue that down somehow, like so, so that then this thing can peek out here. But you can't, obviously can't, take this part anymore and put that to the other side of the page because I've glued it down here. But I'm just realizing on those pages where we have the lace, that is even good. First I thought it was a little fail in my brain, but when I see this, this is even good, because if I want to have a page tab here, how to attach the other part of the tab here on the other side. I mean, if I have something like this and I would need to glue that around here, I mean, how shall that be possible without freaking out? I mean, look, how shall I attach that here? That is ugly, yeah? I mean, it's not impossible, but I find that really ugly. But this way, we could put it here and have the page tab without the need of gluing that around this stuff. Oh, that is pretty genius, I would say. Coincidence? Nope. Good energy because of good music? Definitely yes. Okay, so let's go on. So let's then talk about this thing, how you would need to attach the page tab thing so that you then later on can have the other part of the page tab on the other page. Do you know what I mean? So in the beginning, we already found out that this is a cool combination. I think I had these in my hands exactly like this a while ago. So I will first glue these together because I already know that I like that. So that then this is just a decoration for the other one. We could even, oh, wait. Ah, Luise, that is too fast. We could even do it like so. Let's do it like this. And then I think I want to, where are my scissors? I want to cut these off. Because now when that is attached there, it looks really weird. These little noses are there. So here we go. How cool is that? Okay, so then we obviously need to think about this a little bit better if we don't want to have the same thing like here. So when I have this, then one of these things will go to the other page later. That means I can't add glue here now, but obviously I can decide where this shall go. Perhaps we should take one of the bigger tickets. This one, perhaps, or what I thought was perhaps this. And yes, I will now, if I decide that this goes here, cover up a lot of the things I made before with the punches, but who cares? We have already, we have still a lot left here. I think I like that even better. So let's take this. Oh yes, that is good. I think this is pretty cool, isn't it? So then we can take this, and now I open this and I put the glue here, but only to the part which goes on here. So then when we have that, we can obviously take this, and now we can put that to one of those pages where no lace is, but like, you know, like so, really like a page tab. If I can find a page where I have some space left. Well, that is, ooh. I just wanted to say this is probably not such a good example for a page which I would choose, because this covers that up, but to be honest, that is pretty cool. So I put that on here so that this is then here like so. You could even include a paper clip in here so that you could then have that as a hidden paper clip so that you can take it out I mean, this is a collage book. Shall we do that? I mean, is that weird? I think I can't decide that in this moment, but I think you understand what I mean. I mean, I can't decide in this moment if I want to glue this down here now because of this arrangement. But in this case, this part is now here, and we have the other part of the page tab here on the other side. So that means if I decide to glue that down there, then I will just put glue here and to the other side, and then I can attach it here, and then the tab is really peeking out. Oh, you can't see that, peeking out here on the side. So then let's take this thing. Can we even perhaps combine these? Yeah, I mean, why not? Look. Perhaps not this color, but the shapes go really well together. I don't like this area so much because here it's too much of the same somehow. But when we do it like so, then we could easily break the pattern here with having the page tab there. And what I also realize here is that I am totally in love with... No, you will not hear a name now. Unfortunately not. But with the method I have used here, meaning first making the collage fodder and then you have everything you need when you come to this point, and when you then want to make these things, then it's so easy because you have everything laying around here, even some, you know, leftover things like this feather, for example. Throw them all to your table and then just grab the different components, and you will immediately see that you have something there which you like. And that is so cool because nearly everything fits together. Do you know what I mean? I mean, at least color-wise. And you have to, yeah, I have the feeling that I only have to decide now if it fits size-wise, because, you know, we made some thoughts when we made the other things about the colors and so on, and the theme and everything, and now I can just puzzle everything together and it will look nice no matter how I do it. At least that's my feeling. If you don't like it, then you don't like it, but you know what I mean. It's always personal taste, but for my feeling it's exactly like that. I can just throw this on here and it's good. So here, let's put the glue also only here. This is just some leftover thread from the fabric I used for the cover. I think I like that. Where's this leftover piece of my thing here? Look. We could also take these collage strips we've made. This is only a little piece of them, so if you have missed the video, we made these. The video is also in the playlist, and this here is left over from something. I mean, you know, where I used the other part. Ah, this bird, and especially this color here on the belly with this perfection. Okay, so I think I will finish the others up off camera, and you will then see these included in the journal and in the final flip through of this journal, which will of course come a little later on this channel. And yeah, I'm really hoping that you want to try something like this with your own tickets and your own page tabs. Just throw everything on the table and make a combination of the things you have there. And to be honest, I think I like these even better than these which are already on those cards, because here it looks more like we had added a collage here and then just put the page tab on top. So here it looks like we had the collage here and then just added this little page tab, but I think I like it better when it's like so, because then you see the page tab more separately. I mean, obviously it's depending where you put that then. It could get lost on a page as well. That was probably also the reason why I couldn't decide if I want to glue it here, you know, on this page which has this pocket here, this one, because if I would put this here, it could also look like on the card. Do you know what I mean? So it could also look like I had glued this down and then later on just added this page tab, and that takes the attention away from this, and I don't like that so much. I like it better when this is really a separate piece, for example, like so here. Then you can see, okay, this is a little piece of art and it's here on the envelope, and then we could put it like so to the other page, so that it then really looks like a page tab, because it is a page tab. That's why it looks like a page tab. Do you know what I mean? But then it's, you know, more free somehow. And if you want to make these, make sure that you make some which have the tab on the right and some which have the tab on the left. I always struggle with that, because then, you know, later when you want to add these here, then you could have the problem if you make only those which have the tab on the right, that you don't have enough right pages where you could put that, because, you know, you can't put that to a left page, because then it would need to go like so or upside down. Is there a problem with putting this upside down? Absolutely not. To be honest, when I see this, I like it nearly better upside down. Could happen that it will go here upside down, but I think you know what I mean. By saying make some which have the tab on the left and some which have the tab on the right, because that is then just easier to find a good spot. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? Here, look at this corner there. The colors here fit perfectly to this. Why can't I glue this here upside down? Where's the problem? Looks absolutely fantastic. Somehow I don't like this, but not because the bird is upside down, but because this is upside down for me now. This looks like, you know, it's upside down. It needs to go like so because of the weight here of the whole thing. But I think there's absolutely no problem with gluing animals upside down. Oh, oh, look. I think that will go here. So that's it for today. I hope you like this idea, and perhaps you want to try something like this for your own journals. If you're looking for the digitals I've used for making this journal and, you know, what we've used here today, then check out the description box. There are the links to all of the digitals I've used for making this. And if you want to listen to some really good music while crafting, check out Daniel Evans on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so on. The links are also down below in the description box. By the way, he's also on different streaming platforms where you can check him out. And I have to say, I still have this bean in my ear. Ooh. Okay, now it stopped. This was a really, really different experience. I don't know if I can do that again. It was really, really hard for me to not get distracted by the music, because and with distracted I mean that I don't stop talking and explaining, because when I listen to his music, then I'm like drifting away. I'm in a totally different world, and then I either sing along with him if I know the lyrics of the songs he sings, or sometimes I sing along even if I don't know the lyrics. And believe me, you don't want to hear that. Or I get really quiet, stop talking, and that wouldn't be so good for explaining something like this, yeah? So, but that's the only reason why I would say I don't know if I can do that again, because it's really, yeah, hard for me to do that while I'm filming. But it was a really nice experience, and I definitely got some ideas here which I probably wouldn't have gotten without listening to the music. That is a fact. Like this, you know, where we used, did I glue something over it? Where is it now? Where we use this thing here, you know, this half circle and then punching in here like so. I think that wouldn't have come to my mind without listening to music. So perhaps you want to try that out as well, for your own crafty hours at your desk. See you the next time and have a very great and creative day. Bye bye.